All right. So tonight's training is something that is an absolute necessity to talk about because it's probably one of the biggest problems that men and women both end up encountering in regards to, losing weight, being healthy, staying fit, blah, 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 whatever, I mean, I remember back in the day, I used to think that, weight loss was, or fat loss, I should say, was just, it was simple math, right? Simple math. You eat more or eat less, you move more, you stay motivated, you get disciplined, you do all the things and calories in, calories out, and blah 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 blah, all the things that you hear from everybody about dieting in the whole diet culture. And it's those types of things that really led me into the trap that so many women and men fall into with regards to, how many different types of, 28-day challenges or 60-day challenges or get fit before the summer challenges, and you sign up for them because you're like, yeah, I only have to do this for 2 months. I only have to do this for 30 days. This is a piece of cake. I can nail this. I can hit my goals. 6 weeks seems to be a really big challenge period. I know there's, certain programs that last 75 days. And okay, then what? Then what? Do you go again and you go really hard again for another 75 days, or do you give up and then that's it and you're right back to what you were doing the first time that got you to where you're at today? Guilty. I can say that because that's what I did all the time. You meticulously track every single bite of food for 30 days. You you working out super duper hard. You're going and killing it at the gym and you're spending 2 hours doing cardio, and then you do extra running on top of that, and you're doing all of this physical activity that you don't normally do. You're basically piling cardio on top of yourself, and it's more like a punishment than a reward. Like I actually enjoy myself when I go to the gym now, whereas before it wasn't that way. Like, it a lot of the times my workouts were to correct something that I had done during that day. Or, I'm tracking my foods and I'm doing this and I'm being perfect, and then something happens, and guess what? It goes out the window. I make a mistake. So then what happened? I would spiral and, I messed up. So I might as well, the day's done. Okay, let's next. So I didn't have to worry about doing what it was I was doing that day because, well, I had already screwed up for the day. So, oh well, might as well just keep, going down that rabbit hole and doing all the bad things. But I was doing everything right according to diet culture. Everything that I was doing when I was trying to hit these short-term weight loss goals, fat loss goals, and I'm not even gonna say fat loss, weight loss goals. I was doing everything I was supposed to, but that was according to diet culture. That was not what an actual healthy way of living was supposed to look like. It was you do this for 30 days. 30 days is all you have to do, and all of your problems are going to go away, right? Yeah, not so much. Not so much. So, but when I thought that I was doing everything right, I was actually just making things worse on myself. I was on my first diet at age 9. And then it was just a constant in my life. Dieting was always a part of my life until I turned 42 years old. It was always there. Like I was always going to have to diet. I had no choice but to diet because otherwise I wasn't going to be successful. I wasn't going to lose the weight. And that led me to having weight loss surgery, which many of you know my story about that. And guess what? That even didn't work because you talk about the ultimate diet. weight loss surgery is the ultimate diet until you learn how to cheat that ultimate diet, which absolutely can be done. So I was stuck in this pattern. Like it was exhausting, it was overwhelming. And then I would screw up and then I would quit and then I would have to restart again. And then, it was, rinse and repeat the same freaking thing. And what do they say when you repeat the same habit over and over again? That's insanity. And it truly was insanity that I was putting myself through because I felt like that's what I had to do in order to hit the goals that I had because that was the only way I knew was dieting. Like I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and if you grew up in the 80s and the 90s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We were always on a diet. Our moms were always on a diet. Everybody was always on a diet. All the magazine covers were the latest diets. So, what do? How do we break that cycle? How do we break that pattern of dieting? Because 95% of the time, your diet is not going to work. Or you'll get that very small success. And when you end that diet and you don't have those restrictions and you don't have the workout plans and you don't have the meal plans, you go right back to what you've always done. So then what happens? The weight all comes right back on. That's not healthy living. That is destroying your metabolism, which is not a good thing. It's not something to be proud of. That is not a badge of honor that you want to have destroying your metabolism. So before you even talk about, or think about a lifestyle change, you know, think about what it is that you're looking at. What is it that is your goal? I do this to my clients all the time. Tell me why you hired me. Like what is the point of this? People who are doing my 21-day challenge right now, why did you sign up for this 21-day challenge? What are you hoping to accomplish in 3 weeks? And if their responses are not realistic, I rein them back in because I know what a realistic outcome for a 3-week program, challenge, whatever you want to call it, is going to be. And if you think that you're going to lose 15 pounds in 3 weeks because, oh, well, that's a piece of cake. That's 5 pounds a week. That's not what this is about. You have to start out this lifestyle feeling motivated. You have to have really that carrot dangling in front of you. What is the thing that's going to keep you going? Why do you want to hit this particular goal within this particular amount of time? What is it that's so important about this goal and this deadline that you may be setting for yourself? What is it? Um, do you feel like you're going to have to restrict everything that you're used to eating right now only to let it back in once you're done? Is that where your brain is at when you're going through these challenges? When you sign up to do one of my programs, I know my one-on-one girls don't do this, but what is it? Do you think that, okay, I'm just going to have to cut this out for 3 months, and then after 3 months is over, I'm going to do this again because this is what I've always done? Not necessarily. Are you going to do what I did and get off track because you had a stressful day and you may have had a slip up and, oh, well, I've already screwed up, so I might as well just keep on going, right? Is that what you do? Because that's what I always used to do. Well, I'll admit it. I'll be completely open and honest with you guys. I am no different than any of you were. Do you then, after, you get off track, do you feel guilty? And then you give up. And then you're like, well, this week's shot, I guess I need to wait until next week. Is that what you're used to doing? Is that what's normal for you? Is okay, well, I've already screwed up and it's Wednesday, so I might as well not even try because the weekend's coming and I really want to do this and I really want to go there and drink and I really want to eat this particular food. So I'll just start over again on Monday. Here we go with our patterns, right? Do you consistently restart instead of reflecting on why it is that this decision led to this outcome. How many times have you started over? How many times have you started over, and how much has actually changed by a diet that you have gone on? A short-term fix. How much did you change in that particular time frame? It's a broken system, guys. Dieting is a broken system. This is what we have been taught is the right way to do things. Cut back on everything, starve yourself for however many days or however many weeks. And then when you hit the finish line, bam, free for all. Go for it. Enjoy. Live your life. Has that actually helped you in the long run? Or do you just do the same pattern over and over and over? So, what is success? What is, again, what are your goals? What are you looking to achieve? So many of us women hyper focus and we associate success with being a smaller size or seeing a particular number on the scale. The scale can so be our enemy instead of our friend. And sometimes you have to put that thing away, even while you're doing the work, if you're going to allow it to dictate how you wake up and feel. If you wake up and you're in a pretty good mood and you get on the scale after you've gone to the bathroom and eliminated as much from your body as possible, and it says a number that you don't want to see, or it's gone up a pound, how is your day going to be after that? Are you still going to be like, okay, you know what? No big deal. It's still a great day. I'm up a pound. That's all right. It's probably just water weight. I might be bloated. Oh, I'm starting my period next week. Oh, you know what? I ate a really big dinner later than I normally do last night. Or are you going to allow it to be a bad day? I let the scale control me so much of my life. And if the scale was up, guess what? Oh, well, there's no point in me doing this. I might as well just eat what I want to eat. It's going to be a bad day. And then guess what? It was definitely always a bad day because I told myself it was going to be a bad day. So, what if success actually looked like having more energy, getting a better night's sleep, not waking up in pain every single day, being able to walk a mile, being able to walk a quarter of a mile if that was something you weren't able to do before? No longer obsessing over certain foods. Are those wins? Do those sound like successes? Do you trust yourself to make choices that support your goals without super strict, crazy rules? Or without thinking this is going to be a regular thing again when this is over? Are you thinking short term or are you thinking long term? So, what does lifestyle change actually mean? What is that? You hear that all the time. Like a lot of people do talk about lifestyle change. I talk about it all the time because it truly is a lifestyle change. My son loves to make fun of me about the lifestyle change. But if you don't look at it as a lifestyle change, then what are you looking at it as? What is it to you, if not a long-term thing? Do you think that you're going to be perfect forever? You're not. I had a conversation with a client about this today. You're not perfect. You're never going to be perfect. You're going to have slip ups. You're going to make mistakes. How are we going to respond to those? Are we going to throw everything out the window, all the progress we've done, or are we going to pick ourselves back up, dust ourselves off, and just carry on? Are we going to have a 2-day issue or are we going to have a 2-month long issue? How do you make it so that it's sustainable? Sustainable habits that you can continue on for the rest of your life. I tell people all the time, simple is sustainable for me. I don't need fancy recipes. I don't need to go eat out all the time. I don't need my food to be exciting. I mean, the most exciting food I eat anymore is tuna fish, and I'm obsessed with tuna fish right now. So honestly, I'm having tuna like 3 days a week, canned tuna at that. Nothing fresh. Give me that canned tuna. I'm happy with it. But that is sustainable. Simple is sustainable for me. Are you going to overcomplicate this lifestyle change of yours, or are you going to keep it easy so that it's something that you can sustain long term? Are you going to make mindful choices? Not perfection, but intentional. There's a big difference between being mindful in what you're doing, but not expecting that it's going to be perfect. You just have to be intentional about what it is that you decide you are going to do and make sure that the control over what you are putting in your body is yours, not somebody else's. Do not allow others to enable you. Do not allow others to convince you that this is something, oh, just have it just this one time, especially if you don't know how you're going to respond to it as a trigger. That's a whole nother live training that I'm getting ready to do with you guys as far as emotional eating and sabotage and things like that. But you need to be mindful of what your choices are and do not allow other people's choices to become yours. Because again, remember, this is a lifestyle. This isn't just a short-term thing that we're talking about doing here. Movement that fits your schedule, not 2 hour long cardio sessions, not even 2 hour long lifting sessions. You want to train, but you want it to be something you enjoy and something that you will continue to do. I used to do a boot camp years ago. I freaking hated it. I'm not going to lie. I did HIIT workouts. I freaking hated them. I used to run. I broke a bone in my foot from running so much, and I did not enjoy it. It was just to get skinny. But I love strength training. I love lifting weights, except for Bulgarian split squats. Nobody loves those. They're almost as bad as burpees. But I love that. I love building muscle. That is something I look forward to. So find something that you like. You know, I've got ladies who do Zumba. I have people who do yoga almost daily. I've got ladies who are looking into doing Pilates because it's a different type of strength training. It's utilizing different types of muscles without lifting super heavy weights. I've got people who try different things like dance classes. Like, if that's something you enjoy, do it. That is not something I enjoy because I am not good at it and I embarrass myself. But it's all right. Not everybody's good at everything, right? We're not all perfect. And then self awareness. Are you going to, if you screw up, are you going to have this huge weight of guilt that's on you and say, throw everything out the window? Okay, time to start over. Or are you going to actually reflect on what you did, what led you to that decision, and then adjust? Get right back on track, not keep going in the wrong direction because you took a detour. You can get right back on track. You don't have to keep going that way. What actually moves the needle? What actually does it? What actually works then? If it's not a diet, what should we do? Well, when you fuel your body like somebody who respects your body and not punishing it, that moves the needle. When you train to build muscle, to increase your strength, to protect your bones, ladies, to improve your confidence, not to burn off what you ate that day. That'll move the needle. Building habits that you can live with. not not white knuckling your way through the day. Now, is that going to be the case in deciding to move away from how you eat right now, especially if you are indulging in a very ultra processed, high carb, lots of fast food. You live in the drive-through because you just think you don't have time, or that's your excuses. You don't have time to cook, you don't have time to think, you don't have time to whatever. So you go through the drive-through and you're not necessarily making the best choices in the drive-through. Or are you going to make educated and decisive actions that to move yourself in the right direction? That's up to you. With some people who are on that standard American diet, the ultra processed food, lots of sugar, high carbs, lots of fast food, like addictive types of foods. And yes, there are addictive foods. You might struggle the first few weeks while you're breaking free of that. That doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to go cold turkey. If you can't, cool. If not, all right, let's wean. Let's wean our way off of it. Some people go cold turkey with drinking. Some people go cold turkey with smoking cigarettes. Some people have to go cold turkey with food. I had to because I realized my issues. I saw my patterns, and I knew if I didn't, I would continue on making the decisions that weren't necessarily the best for me. But if you're not obsessed over food the way that I was, then yeah, you can absolutely build habits, build healthier habits without white knuckling your way through life and being miserable for an extended period of time. And then a big one is daily reflection. That is truly the unsung hero of transformation is daily reflection. Because lifestyle change is not about being perfect. It's being consistent. It's knowing that even when things get tough, you don't quit. Even if you're in a stressful situation, you don't have to turn to food. Knowing that, or being consistent enough that if you skip a workout, it hasn't destroyed your fitness. We need to reflect. We need to really work on mindset. Anybody who has worked with me or anybody who's even been in my group for an extended period of time knows I am huge on mindset. That is where it's at. And that is actually the hardest part to change than what you're eating. Or again, spending 30 days eating a particular type of food or completely eliminating certain types of foods because this is what this diet tells you to do. Just do it for 30 days. Even diets in the low carb space, I don't do. I do not restrict myself for a 30-day period just to see, just to see if it'll help me start losing weight again. Because again, diet mentality, no matter what kind of way of eating you're in, whether you eat standard American diet or you are a ketovore, carnivore type of a person, and you get super strict with what it is with what you're eating for a limited period of time. Don't even get me started on egg fasts or sardine fasts. No, 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 no. So how do we, avoid okay, diets are bad. We need to change our lifestyle to make sure our lifestyle is good. Like, how do we do this? How do we start? Well, what hasn't worked for you? Ask yourself, what has not worked for me? What hasn't worked? Not what has. What hasn't? I think that list is probably going to be really, really long. And be curious about the things that you thought were going to work for you, that you were sure were going to be positive. without being super critical about your failures, because failures are nothing but opportunities to learn. We need failures in our lives to proceed and be successful. Did you know that? I know they're not fun. Failures are not something that are enjoyable to go through, but that's what you're going to learn from. And just know you are not broken because a diet did not work for you, or it did work until it was over. That is the system that is completely broken. It is designed to do that. Because then what do you keep doing? You keep buying programs, you keep buying shakes, you keep buying this, you keep buying that, because you're only doing it for a short period of time. And then real life comes back. And instead of staying on that healthier path, you've gone back to what you used to, what is your normal, because you no longer have to restrict yourself. You no longer have to consume 1,000 calories a day, and you make poor choices because you're not taught what is actually going to be better for you in the long run, you know? So you've tried discipline, you've tried these hard things, you've done these challenges. Now, what if you tried something that actually supports you instead of just hyper focusing on being disciplined? Because if diets worked, you wouldn't need another one, and then another one, and then another one. What if your next step wasn't harder, it was smarter? Doesn't that sound like it'd be a lot better than white knuckling your way through something and then starting over again? That's exhausting. Your body doesn't necessarily need less food. It needs better foods, but it also needs more respect from you to you. Eating crap all day, every day, sitting all day, every day, not moving your body, not utilizing this amazing tool that you have is extremely disrespectful. Sorry, guys. That is the most disrespectful thing that you can do, is neglect the body that you've got. Many of us are taught that our bodies are temples as we're growing up, and we should protect them and we should keep them dignified. Well, that also includes how you're nourishing it. So that's something to think about as well. How do I coach my clients? You guys kind of get a glimpse in my groups if you watch my videos on YouTube. I have so many free tools out there for you all. Okay, I'm not in this to make money. I'm not in this just to get rich and, travel the world and do whatever. I want to help people who have been where I was. I paid thousands of dollars to become certified in multiple things so that I could help to educate you and not have to really struggle to get through something and find the next step and hit that, those goals along the way, like I did. I want to help you have your path be a little bit smoother than what mine was. So I teach my clients, and I tell you all as well, to ask yourself meaningful questions. Again, what is, instead of what hasn't worked, what's actually working right now? What is working for me right now? Is anything I'm doing, sorry, is anything I'm doing working for me right now? Ask yourself that question. Where do I keep getting in my own way? And why do I keep getting in my own way? Do you find yourself sabotaging frequently? I used to do it all the time. And I had to ask myself, okay, why am I doing this? And where is it in the day or in what situation that I am getting into my own way and getting myself off of the track that I think I want to be on? Am I becoming the kind of person who finishes what they start? Do I see a finish line or am I playing the long game? That's probably your most important question. Is there a finish line or is this for life? Because if I see a finish line, oh, I can make this as hard as it needs to be so that I can get skinny within a certain amount of time, or I can make the scale look the way I want to, or I can fit into this dress for this one particular occasion. That's a big one for us ladies. Or am I dedicated to protecting myself and ensuring that I have the best future possible? What's more important to me at this point? That is the power of the daily reflection. That is what keeps you going. It removes the drama of it all. It keeps the mental noise down in our brains. It helps you to lead yourself even when it gets tough. It keeps you going. It keeps that momentum going when things get hard, and things are going to get hard. Are you going to quit or are you going to keep going? It's the difference between, well, I guess I'll try it again next week, or I'll try it again next month, or finally becoming the version of you who follows through and starts hitting all of those goals that you have in place and then creating new ones. Just because you hit one goal doesn't mean you're done. Always have more goals. And I'm talking teeny tiny little goals, guys. I'm not talking these huge, huge goals. You can have those, but have the little ones along the way that you get to celebrate as well. Do you want fat loss that's going to last? Or do you want to have to do this all over again? That's a question only you can answer. It's not about tweaking your macros. It's not about doing a particular type of diet slash way of eating. So many women and even men need somebody on the outside to help to guide them. And that is where coaches come into play. That is where friends who have been successful at this can help you along the way. It doesn't mean you do exactly what they do, but you need a guide a lot of times to help you find clarity, to help you to be honest with not only them, but with yourself. And you need a system that's going to transform how you think, not just how you look. Mindset is so, so very important to getting out of that diet cycle, getting out of that trap, that this is what you have to do to hit this goal, and then you can stop. Is that all you want? Or are you in for the long game? Do you want real health? Do you want real change? Do you want to have a more positive outlook on life and not just exist? Do you truly want to live? The older we get, the more a lot of us get that awakening. And I mean, I'm 48 now. Like I said, I started this when I was 42 or 43. I don't know. Maybe I was. No, I was 42. And it's the older I'm getting now, not that I by any, stretch of the imagination think I'm old, but the older I'm getting, the closer I'm getting to 50, the more excited I am for 50. If you had asked 30-year-old Michelle if she was excited about turning 30, no, because 30-year-old Michelle hated herself. She did not have things to look forward to in the future because food was everything at that point. 2011 had weight loss surgery, thought that was going to fix everything. It did not. It actually uncovered more problems that I had. 2015 had the surgery reversed. I was able to eat all the things again. Even though I had almost 100-pound weight loss, I started gaining weight back. I learned how to, again, continue to feed my feelings, to allow myself to try and stuff everything back down instead of doing the tough stuff, the mindset, and actually putting in that hard work because I didn't realize how truly important it was. I thought it was all about Weight Watchers and dieting and not being able to eat my food. Gain 100 pounds back after having weight loss surgery. And then here I am now. 2020, was sick and tired of it. Didn't want to diet because I had done the keto diet before, but I never made it past 2 or 3 weeks. I would start to lose weight. I got the pee sticks to see if I was in ketosis and if I had ketones in my urine because that was what mattered. Oh, okay, cool, I'm doing it right. And then I'd have a bad day and I would stop on the way home and get a pizza. And then we were done. When it was finally enough for me to realize this has to be a lifestyle, this can't just be a temporary thing for me anymore. That really helped. But there was a lot more work for me to do along that process as well. So I don't know if people have been commenting. I haven't been able to see anything in here. So let me look on Facebook in here and see what we've got going on here. Because let me see if there's something here. Trying to do this on my phone is really rough. Whew. Well, if you guys are commenting, I am so sorry that I can't see anything because my iPad did not want to cooperate. Oh, here we go. All right. So, all right. Looks like we were good. We didn't have any questions, at least not that I can see here. Let me mute myself because that was creepy. Okay. So that's going to wrap up my live training for tonight. This is a great explanation to you all of diets and why diets don't work and why we don't want to consistently have ourselves dieting. And uh, I don't want to say that restriction is bad, but if we need to ease our way into certain things, if we need to ease our way into transitions that we're trying to make in lasting, healthy, sustainable habits, then that's what we have to do. It's not about doing the crash diet. It's not about having an expiration date on something. It's about making the changes that are going to allow you to continue to be as healthy and as happy and as active as you want to be for the rest of your life. So I hope everybody enjoyed this training. Again, there are so many free tools that I offer for you all. I've got my YouTube page, I have my free Facebook group, and I do these live trainings every single Monday evening at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. If you want to learn about things, if there are certain topics you want me to cover, by all means, message me, comment on here, tell me the stuff that you really want to learn about so that I can help you in the best way possible. I am all about the free tools and getting the knowledge out there to help you all to achieve your goals along the path. So everybody have a great night, and I will see you on the next one.